Sitting somewhere between newer films like Big Hero 6 and older classics like E.T., Ron's Gone Wrong is a gem that most people probably won't see in theaters. It's a film that's been under the radar, since it's been continually pushed back since its original 2020 release date. It's the story of Bernard, a boy who wants to be like many of his peers, enjoying life with a new robotic B-bot sidekick, one that can help him navigate the social hierarchy of school. He eventually gets one of his own and names it Ron. And from there, we get a buddy comedy that blends technology with real-world issues. At times, it's messy with its messaging, but it does have a great voice cast and a sincere and heartwarming story about friendship at its center. My name's Josh Taylor, this is Modern Mouse, and today I want to talk about the animated film Ron's Gone Wrong, why it should be getting more attention, and if you should actually see it in theaters. Recently, I chimed in on my community board, which if you don't see that, you definitely should check it out because I put up polls there and I tease new videos that are coming up. But I asked everybody what I should be doing on this channel, what kind of new content I could be putting out, and many of you voted for me to start talking about new releases, new films, and reviewing them and giving a further analysis on those movies. Since my niche on YouTube has always been everything under the Disney umbrella, hence the logo, then I thought I would be able to talk about this movie, Ron's Gone Wrong. And don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything. If you didn't see the movie, that's okay. I'm not going to spoil anything that's not in the trailer of the film. But this movie begins with the announcement of the new B-bot best friend robot from Bubble, a company that's kind of similar to Apple in both what it makes as well as the presentation of the company. A tech giant whose goal is to create a new robot that not only helps you with your online life, but is supposed to bring you closer to the people around you in real life. The story centers around Bernard, a kid living with his father and grandmother who wants to fit in at school, and when his dad caves to getting him a new B-bot, he ends up with a defective model. The rest of the film follows this new B-bot named Ron and his quest to understand Bernard and become his best friend. While Bernard tries to keep Ron safe after his code makes him less than desirable and causes chaos around town. The message that this film tries to convey is that friendship is a special bond and it's a two-way street. These two characters learn to be best friends in front of our own eyes, despite one being human and the other being a malfunctioning robot. I went to go see this movie on opening weekend at my local theater around 7 p.m. and to be honest with you, there weren't a lot of people there. The theater might have been 10% full, which isn't a good look for the opening weekend of any movie. And I understand that it's still COVID times and people are still skeptical about going to a movie theater. I totally get that, I understand that, but it still seems really crazy considering that this film opened the same weekend as Dune, which did amazing numbers at the box office comparatively. This movie opened in 5th place at the box office and was outperformed by a lot of other movies that came out weeks prior. And on top of all of that, I don't think that Disney put a lot of marketing behind Ron's Gone Wrong, mostly because they probably didn't know when it was going to come out since it's been pushed back several times since its original release date in 2020. But I think you could also put that up for debate since Disney decided to shut down Blue Sky Studios and 20th Century Animation being connected to Fox. You got to think that maybe something going on there and the fact that they don't really want to carry another animation company since they already have themselves and Pixar. But 20th Century Animation isn't even the ones animating this movie. They're actually more of a distribution arm for other animation studios. This movie was actually made by Locksmith Animation, which is a newcomer to the animation industry. So let's hope for their sake that this actually does really well so that that animation studio can continue making new movies. But outside of the behind the scenes stuff, why does this movie matter? Why should you see it, right? Ron's Gone Wrong has a ton of heart, and it does mean well. It has story elements that feel familiar, especially if you saw Sony's The Mitchells vs. the Machines. This robot idea translates from that. And because both films came out this year, I think they'll naturally be compared to each other. But where The Mitchells and the Machines showcases the power of family, Ron's Gone Wrong is about friendship, and it follows up with strong messages about the fear of missing out, and classism, as well as bullying. I've seen many people compare it to Steven Spielberg's classic E.T., and I definitely see why people would say as much, especially because of the bond between the two friends, with only one of them being human. I think a closer connection, though, is probably to Big Hero 6, and the relationship between Hiro Hamada and his robot pal Baymax. Some of the ideas from this film do stumble throughout the movie, and jokes take over at times where strong messaging probably could be, but this film is also aiming to be more of a lighthearted family film than any kind of drama about a robotic class war. I did come out of the movie theater feeling a little let down, that this movie could have been much more profound, but also, again, I understand family film, but I do feel like this film does lack what movies from Pixar or Disney have typically had over the past few years. It's a film that's going to inevitably end up on a streaming service where most people will probably see it, and in a year where we got Raya and the Last Dragon, Luca, the aforementioned Mitchells and the Machines, and Vivo, I don't see this movie getting much attention during awards season, meaning that it will likely not be a big deal when it also hits Disney Plus or whatever streaming service it lands on. I do think that this film is good for animation fans, or for a family-friendly night at home. The animation style isn't extremely mind-blowing, and there's not a lot within this movie that will make you stop and think. But the cast that includes Jack Dylan Grazer and Zach Galifianakis and Ed Helms are all fantastic, and they do really well with this script, creating really wonderful moments throughout the film. Overall, I'd say watch this film. If you'd like to, I would probably wait for it to be on a streaming service, and unfortunately you might forget that it was even a movie before it hits the streaming service, but who knows? Let me know what you would like to see in the future from all of these reviews and analysis, what Disney movies you'd like to see down in the comment below. Also, if you saw Ron's Gone Wrong, tell me what you thought about it, or if you haven't seen it, are you going to see it? And be sure to check out more on the channel. You can check out another video right here, one of my latest videos. And until next time, my friends, thank you for watching, and as always, keep moving forward.